From AI to biotech, the global race to extend human life is heating up fast. So when Russian President Vladimir Putin, Chinese leader Xi Jinping, and North Korea's Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un were caught on an open mic last year, it turned out they were discussing the possibility of living forever. It thrust the longevity industry right into the spotlight. Russia is investing $26 billion in a new health preservation technologies initiative. And basically, Russia joins a high-stake race that has already drawn tech heavyweights, including billionaires Jeff Bezos and Sam Altman, both of whom are backing companies aimed at extending human life. But while scientists debate how far the technology can go, people are already living and working longer. A new AARP report finds Americans 50-plus now account for more than one-third of the U.S. population and contribute $12.5 trillion in productivity to the economy each year. Nearly 54 million aged 50 years and older are still in the workforce. So is America ready for the longevity economy? Joining us now, AARP CEO Myechia Minter-Jordan. It is truly fascinating.
Yes.
I can't even call it a cottage industry. It's a mansion industry now of longevity. And you have some numbers now that really back up that even before some of these discoveries come to market, people are living longer.
Yes, people are living longer and they are working longer, and the contributions to our GDP have only exponentially increased. We now represent over 36% of the workforce. Age 50-plus individuals are contributing more than 60% of federal tax dollars. And so we are now in this space where age is redefining our economy.
Age is redefining it, but is the economy morphing into this? And we come at a time where there are certain segments of the population that aren't finding jobs. And what I find interesting here is that it's almost reverse ageism at this point. It used to be that nobody wanted to hire somebody with gray hair. Now, because of AI, the entry-level positions aren't being filled, because that can all be done with AI, supposedly. But older, more experienced workers are becoming more valuable?
Yes, we are becoming more valuable. The 50-plus worker is becoming incredibly more valuable because of these soft skills. I like to call it the rise of the soft skills, the ability to communicate effectively, the ability to manage teams, to manage culture. All of these are skills that are important to understand processes and to have the wisdom and expertise to then direct how AI technology is being used. At the same time, there are 5 generations in the workplace. So we're also seeing older workers mentoring younger workers in building up the capacity of organizations to be able to deliver on their objectives.
What did you find about this extension in breakthroughs in longevity and why it is so important to look at older workers when it comes to a business plan?
Yes.
They're contributing with productivity, as we talked about. They are purchasing.
That's right.
They need to keep working because they need to continue to put a roof over their own head.
That's correct. And the 50-plus individuals and Americans across this country are also supporting jobs. And this is a ripple effect, but we are supporting over 100 million jobs. And so as we think about the impact of this new longevity economy on all markets and on all generations, we really need to take that in consideration as business leaders. How do we get the best out of a workforce that is intergenerational? What are the policies that we need to put into place so that individuals can be their most productive selves? One of the things that AARP has done is put in a family caregiver leave policy, understanding that there are 63 million caregivers in our country today, and the majority of those individuals are 50-plus Americans.
I remember covering CES, this was several years ago, and they said, oh, there's a new topic, gray tech. And that is,
yes.
I mean, whatever you want to call it, you're looking at the spending that older Americans are shelling out money for technology and electronics.
That's right.
That's risen, you found 62% since 2018 when you first started doing the survey?
That's right. It is a complete fallacy that older Americans do not use technology or that they are not spending in the technological space. What we're finding through Age Tech, which is part of the tech sector that is solutions that are focused on older individuals, is that they are clamoring for tools and solutions to help us live longer, to help us remain in place in our homes, and that the technology, the Age Tech sector, needs to continue to meet those needs. We are working on increasing the investments through entrepreneurs and investors. We work with 700 companies as part of our own Age Tech Collaborative to promote the opportunity that is literally within this space and is represented in the longevity economy.
Well, electronics can be totally transformative. We found a robot company that helps older or ailing people stay in their homes longer as the American population ages. But again, I bring it back to, if they're going to stay in their homes longer, they need to be able to fund the mortgage for those homes.
That's right.
Pay for that home.
That's right. And that's why we see individuals working longer than they ever have in the past. So we call it, many people are unretiring. Many people are continuing to find a new phase of life and new careers as they think about this second half of their life. But we are living longer, working longer, paying those earned benefits into programs like Social Security that are essential to keeping people out of poverty. And so this broadens the aperture for all of us as we think about the multiple implications that the longevity economy has.
Well, we'll see if Putin and Xi can live forever if they invest enough money, along with Bezos and Altman. Myechia, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
We love having you on to talk about the issues that face businesses who hire and who take care of older Americans. Thank you.
Thank you.